Hello, my name is Second Lieutenant Orlando Lucena. I'm a Chaplain Candidate with the 1st Brigade 98th Training Division. Today I'm talking to you through the comforts of my little home office that I have, so if you hear any screaming or anything or playing around in the background, those are my kids doing what kids do best. I was asked by a friend to talk to you today about my experiences with suicide. This is a particular subject that's pretty important to me. In my 15 years in the Army, 10 of which being active duty and the rest being Army Reserves, I've lost 4 friends to suicide. I've had 3 friends attempt suicide, and then I myself, when I was enlisted, had attempted suicide. There are many different factors that go into suicide, so it can be difficult to actually pinpoint what it is that causes it, because there's medical reasons, situational reasons. It just, the list can go on, excuse me. So today I'd like to talk to you about a situational based suicide. What I mean by that is a soldier being in a particular situation that they see no hope or no way out except for suicide. This is something I truly believe that we as leaders can turn the tide on it, because all it takes is for us to get to know the soldier beyond the professional level, get to know them a little bit on the personal level, so that when we see a change in their situation, rather than waiting for some type of particular sign, we can address the issue before it grows into something that's undoable. So I'd like to talk to you today about my situation with suicide. This came about a couple years ago when I was a drill sergeant on the trail. My wife she came up to me. This was my first year on the trail. I thought everything was going good, everything was going great, until my wife sat me down and she told me that she wanted a divorce. Because I thought everything was going good, everything was going great, I was of course taken aback by it. I didn't know where this came from. I was wondering if she was sleeping around on me or whatever the case may be. But eventually I got her to explain to me why. And she had told me because, flat out, she did not know who I was anymore. I was not the man that she married. I treated her more like a private than I did my wife. Emotionally speaking, I was not kind to her, and and this all the while I had no idea that I was like this. I thought our marriage was great. I thought I was the nicest guy in the world, but apparently I was a pretty big jerk, to the point that it drove a wedge in my marriage. So during this time, I trying to figure out what to do, what lawyer we're gonna get, if we're gonna get a lawyer, or whatever the case may be. Just trying to figure out this whole process. I was thinking to myself, where did I go wrong? Where's this person that she's talking about? It's like, yeah, I could be mean, but I saw myself doing that in the context of my job at the time, being a drill sergeant, training these soldiers. I didn't see any meanness in myself back at home. I didn't see myself treat my wife in any kind of way. I was completely blind to it. But when I was thinking about this, it came to me, my past. Things started to make sense when I started to think about what I've experienced in the past. And it's amazing how things that you think don't bother you anymore really can truly still affect you now. But yeah, a little bit about my past. Well, I grew up in a home that was abusive. My dad was into drugs. He was into alcohol. His addiction, it didn't start off too bad at first, from what I can remember, but over the years living there, it just continued to grow. It started off with him attacking my mom in the middle of the night, because he was trying to get the rent money, and my mom would refuse to give him the rent money because we'd be out in the street had she given him the money. So he would attack her in the middle of the night. This happened a couple times. Then me and my brother started getting involved, defending her. So then he started going after me and my brother in the middle of the night. He'd either go after him or after me. And this just kept going on for quite some time, to the point that I think what broke the straw with my mom finally was when my dad asked her for the rent money again, and she had said no. He left, and we thought, okay, maybe he's finally getting the picture here. Well, when he came back with the gun, and he pulled it out on me and my mom and said, you know, pretty much give me the money now, or I'm gonna shoot you and take it. So she gave him the money. Not too long after that, I woke up one day to my mom having my things packed, and she said, let's go. Your dad's at work, so we gotta go now before he comes back. Rushed, got on a plane, found myself in Florida, Orlando, Florida at that. And completely surprised. I woke up one day and found myself in Florida a couple hours later. With no warning sign, no discussion that we were leaving. It was just get up and go. At the time, as a kid, I was 14 years old at the time, so there was some resentment there. There's some irritation there because I had friends I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to. I had family I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to. My whole world, what little bit I had that I cared about, was taken away from me. So from what I saw, in my eyes, happiness was taken away from me from my dad at home. Happiness was taken away from my mom because she took me away from the only friends and family that I had, that I cared for. Me being a dumb kid, not seeing the bigger picture. But yeah, I was resentful toward my dad, resentful toward my mom. It was just angry. In Florida, my resentment grew more toward my mom because when I was in Chicago, living with my dad, at least I managed to eat. Florida, my mom being, we're a Hispanic family. English is my mom's second language, and she kind of was forced to learn it in Florida. So she learned a couple words in Chicago, but she didn't have to learn it too much because the neighborhood we were in was primarily Hispanic neighborhood, so she could get by. Well, in Florida, that was not the case. So in terms of work, she couldn't find the best paying job. So needless to say, hunger was a normal thing in our household in Florida. So I'm thinking in my head, we could just move somewhere else in Chicago, but instead of moving somewhere else in Chicago, she wants to take us to Florida so that instead of dying from a gunshot from my dad, we're gonna die from starvation. Rice was a normal meal when we had meal. On days that we went without hunger, there was a temptation to I bring it up because it's funny now, but it's a temptation to eat. There was a baking soda in the trailer that we lived in that was there since the day we moved in there, and I looked at that one day wondering if it tasted like any of the food that used to be in the fridge. Quick answer, no, it doesn't. But regardless, it was a rough situation. So all the while, you know, I have this growing resentment toward my dad, growing resentment toward my mom. I always told myself I'll never be married. Like, forget all that. If that's what marriage is, I don't want any part of it. As soon as I was 18, I was like, I'm out of this place. Joined the army. We went to Iraq, went to Afghanistan. In that time frame, I lost some friends, mostly due to suicide. So now it's a little bit growing resentment, a little bit anger for that situation. And in my career, I met my wife. We got married and everything seemed good. And according to my wife, everything was good at first. But my past was coming along with me, and I didn't realize that. I didn't see that. So the way I would talk to my wife, it was less than what she deserved. So in the situational basis of suicide, when she brought this up, and I finally thought about my past and everything, and actually saw myself for who I was as this terrible person that was treating my wife in such a terrible way, depression came, hopelessness came, because since I was so blind to who I was and how I treated my wife, I did not see a way out. I did not see how could I possibly change and be the man that my wife deserves. How can I love my wife like she deserves when I myself don't know what love is? I have no idea what it is because I've never experienced it in my life. So, you know, all these things going on at work, it was just a normal day. I knew how to play the role that I needed to play. Just went about my day, yelled at soldiers, smoked soldiers, whatever the case may be, and then I come back home and just be completely devastated. I held all this stuff to myself, and eventually it led to me going, well, I have nothing to go back to. I lost my only family, my wife. You know, I don't have a dad to go back to. The relationship between my mom still wasn't all that great. You know, I had nothing. To me, there was nothing, no one I can talk to, none of my buddies at work, no family, no wife, nothing. So I decided that I was going to end it. I'm not going to go into specifics as to what I did, because me on the religious side, I feel like if there's somebody in that situation, you bring the stuff up and go into specifics, there could be temptation on that. But that's a different subject. So I won't go into the details as to what I did, but when I did what I did, and I woke up the next day, you know, I probably woke up the next day, but not probably, but I woke up the next day feeling way worse than I did to begin with, because I failed at what I was trying to do. And for me, my story thankfully ended in me finding Christ in my life. My situation led me to look for answers to life's problems. It's, you know, I wanted to find the reason why. I wanted to find a way out, and apparently when I attempted suicide, there wasn't a way out there because I was still around. So I sought out another way to do it. Of course, I did plan on attempting again, but I was going to try something different. But in that, I was just, you know, trying to find something, and that's where in my life I found God. I found Christ in my life, and things turned around for me. Things turned around for my marriage. I'm still married today. 14 years married. and we're still going, and we're going strong. But what I want to focus on is that, you know, for me, I'm one of the lucky ones that when I attempted, a way out was provided for me. Now, had it gone any other way, had I not found religion, had I not found God, I might have done it, tried it again, and nobody would have known that I was in that situation. Why? Because when I was at work, it was purely professional. Yeah, we joked around. Yeah, we might have played around and everything, but it was never, hey, what's your wife's name? Do you have any kids? What's your kid's name? You want to, hey, on in between cycles, let's go have a unit barbecue or something, or, you know, get more involved. And that's what I want to focus on with you today, is that those situational bases that can lead to suicide can be prevented if we take the time to learn or to know about our soldiers on a much deeper level than professional. Now, I'm not saying that we go beyond, that we go beyond the line that now we're fraternizing or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but you can still learn your soldiers, learn who they are, who their families are. You should be able to know their spouse's name, their kids' names, meet their family members. Constantly ask them, how's your day? How's your day at home? How's things going on at home? Open that two-way communication to where your soldier feels comfortable talking to you about personal issues, so that if there's ever a personal issue that might arise, you can try to help them through that. Whether you're helping them yourselves, or you take them to a chaplain or counselor, whatever the case may be, the point is to look at them and catch the situation rather than trying to catch the symptom. If you wait to catch the symptom, it might already be too late. And at times you might not even see the symptom. Because I've told friends before in my unit of my attempt to suicide, and they said, I would have never thought of that. I would have never seen you actually attempt that. I completely blew their minds when I mentioned it. Because rather than looking at my situation, this guy is in this high-stress job, about to be divorced. Nobody ever actually sat down and talked to me to see where I was at in my mind and my heart. But you can do that. You can certainly do that. Get to know your soldiers. I know I'm probably repeating myself, but this is something that's that important that needs to be said over and over again. Get to know your soldiers on a personal level. Whether you're a leader or you're just regular Joe. Know your soldiers. Know your soldiers to the left and right. Know your buddies to the left and right. See what's going on with their families and everything. Excuse me, starting a little bit, but just get to know them on that personal level to where they're comfortable sharing life's problems with you. And that's ultimately what us as leaders should want to do, because if we have a mentally, spiritually sound soldier, effective soldier, then we have an effective, strong army that can accomplish the mission. So again, I plead with you, please get to know your soldiers, and you'll be amazed with the things that they will tell you once they are comfortable with you. And if they're not comfortable with telling you certain things, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. At least establish that relationship, that if you see them going through something, you can be like, hey, you seem different, or I know you're going through this, you're going through a divorce, you lost a loved one. Do you want to talk to the chaplain? Do you want to talk to somebody? Let them know that you're there for them. Go to them instead of waiting for them to come to you. and you'll be amazed with the lives that you can change and the lives you could potentially save. That's all I have for today. Thank you for taking this time to listening to me. Remember, the Chaplain Corps, we're here for you. Leadership, we're here for you. Your friends to your left and right, your battle buddies to your left and right, they're there for you. So if you're ever in any of these situations to where you feel like there's hopelessness, just reach out. There's somebody there that's willing to help you. God bless.